Here we are. Figured I'd do another video here down here in the basement. Haven't done one in a little while. I guess one thing I had to change was my magnesium. I actually had to turn the dosing off for that because it's getting too high. So apparently just my salt water, my water changers are keeping up on that, so that's not even needed. It's been hovering around 1500. I guess I just don't really want it quite that high. So that one's getting shut off, which is just a little container down there, the 1 gallon. And I still got tons of calcium in there. I mean, that's been since like May, beginning of May, so that's that's a crazy time that shit lasts. Vinegar, I haven't even gotten through a full 5 gallons yet. Soda ash for alkalinity. And a lot of times they say you dose the calcium and alkalinity similar, but in my experience it never is. It's always different. I go through more alkalinity than calcium. On that, the alkalinity soda ash I did put in 2 gallons a couple weeks ago, so there's quite a bit in there again. And I know I've seen some comments on my Regal 300 Reef Octopus skimmer here, and people saying they can't get it to foam and all that crap, but I don't understand what their problem is because it works perfectly fine. I got it running on the 4 out of 5, if you can see it up there. In the beginning I had it on 3 and I just bumped it up to 4 after I started getting some more fishies. And it just automatically drains, so it doesn't fill up. But it works wonderfully. There's not an issue with it. Obviously something else going on with whatever they're doing. One thing I do have to do is run an air line to the outside. I have to find somewhere to drill a hole in this ancient house. Thinking maybe where the cable comes in, which is way over there. Just to keep the hole by one that's already there. Because I got to run a fresh air line to bring my pH up. Because now with the cooling off, the air conditioner's not running as much and blowing in that fresh air. And my pH has dropped. I'm hovering right around 8.0 even now. I'd say high 7.9 something to 8.1 at the absolute max. I don't even think it hits that anymore. But with the air, I think it was hovering around 8.1 for an average, so I lost a little bit there. Never really had a high pH. Maybe your house is just pretty sealed up, I don't know. And you can see I got a filter sock that needs to be changed. I change them on a weekly basis, but we just got back for the weekend last night and I didn't do nothing. But it's overflowing. No big deal, really. I got the Jabo DC 1200 in there, or 12,000 I should say, that's feeding the other room. I put a sock on the output of my skimmer, just because I get micro bubbles otherwise. And then you can see my sweet probe holder I made, so that way they don't get hit with air bubbles and little waves and things like that. Keeps it more stable. Except for my conductivity probe, I had to pull that out because I had issues in there. But I haven't had any problems with it in the last several months. As long as you don't touch it. If you bang it or touch it a little bit, it will almost certainly go out of whack. So I do not touch that thing. Yeah, my bio balls are doing great. I know a lot of people whining and complaining. Get them out of there! Nitrate factory, all that bullshit garbageness. Well, it's the same thing I've done before, and do you honestly see any fucking algae in my tank? No. They're mostly submerged. They're not hurting anything. We got the hammerhead barracuda here. I have the smaller impeller in it, which I believe is the barracuda. Just because that's enough flow as is. Don't need the other one. And to cut down on some energy a tad. Booster pump still working well. RO water working well. Keeping these guys full. Here we got the QT tanks, 2 of them down here. I also have 2 upstairs, 220s, but them don't get used a whole lot unless I really splurge and there's something I absolutely need. That's about the only time I use them up there. Got the Achilles tang, the Flamingi tang, and the Moorish idol. They will be going in later this week. Probably Friday-ish I will be transferring them upstairs. And down on the bottom I have 2 maroon clowns and 2 skunk clowns. I had the Achilles hybrid down there and he had passed away over the weekend. So isn't that just wonderful? He would have been like pretty much a prize fish for me. I don't know if I'd ever get anything quite like that again. Just because once Achilles in there too, I don't think I even could. At least not a tang. That'll be the last one, which is alright, because I think that's going to put me at like 16 tangs. Oops, my head. We got the algae scrubber here. This guy is whooping some ass in here. Always does. Oh. There we go. Sometimes I just have to touch one side and then that little stream stops. Does it every now and then. But it is very, very thick and there's a crap ton of it on there. It was overgrowing onto the bottom. I pulled a big handful out before we left for the weekend because it was in the water. I don't want that to plug the drain up. Then we got this one here. There's absolutely nothing in there besides some rubble and my elegans coral skeleton. Just figured it's a place for more bacteria to grow, so I just toss it in there rather than throwing it away. Then I want it in the big tank upstairs because I think that just looks stupid. And then we got the 75 here. I had this running last time. I'm actually thinking maybe I will fire it up again. All I need to get is, I don't know, 50 pounds of rock or so, just like the rock I put upstairs in here. Super clean rock right from a quarry. There's no die-off on it, no reason to soak it or anything. If anybody tells you different, they have no idea. No reason to. First-hand experience, absolutely nothing. No cycle caused at all, no phosphates, absolutely nothing. So, I may fire that up in the not too distant future, give myself some more water volume. We're also thinking about putting like a 60-gallon rimless cube in our bedroom. Then I would just have to run some plumbing over this way from the other end of the house. Actually, I could come right through that opening right there. And then drill another hole and have it go back over there into the sump. And I shouldn't need too big of a pump for that, because obviously I wouldn't need much flow at all. Just for a little 60. It's mostly horizontal pressure. But yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. I got some chemicals here. Next round I think I'm going to start switching it up, like the calcium chloride. I think I'm going to actually go with like your driveway salt kind of stuff that's pure calcium chloride. I can get a 50-pound pail of that stuff for pretty cheap. It's just bigger chunks of it, but I don't really care. Just let it dissolve anyways. It makes no difference as long as it's pure calcium chloride. And there might be some imperfections in it, but I don't really worry about it all that much. As long as it's pure calcium and there's no other junk in there. Like there's magnesium chloride and there's some other stuff. I think phosphorus chloride or something I've seen. None of that. And for my alkalinity, I may do just baking soda instead of the soda ash. I don't know yet. I mean, I guess I don't really go through much, but not at this point anyways, but something I've been thinking about. Yeah, I think that's about it. Thanks for watching.